going on there, YouTube? Welcome back to RC4wd. Got a new product today from RC4wd. Just came out last week, and yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut into this thing because I'm dying to see what it's all about. Alright guys, so this is the new RC4wd ARB 1/10 scale Pilbara rooftop tent. And I already see one problem with it right now for what I was wanting to do. It's heavy. This is not a lightweight accessory. So I was thinking about this for my 4Runner, and I'm a little worried now that it's going to be a little too much weight for that thing. It's already, the tires are super soft, and yeah, the suspension's pretty soft. I need to upgrade the shocks still. Size looks just right. We'll get the 4Runner out here in a minute and take a look, but I'm afraid this is going to be too heavy for that rig. But let's go ahead and pull this bad boy out. I've been obsessed with overlanding stuff for a while, and yeah, it's pretty cool. So I've got a solid aluminum base with mounting brackets. That's one thing I was curious about, is how I'm going to mount it to my 4Runner, because I don't have a roof rack on it, and I really didn't want to keep or put any more weight up high. So this has little tabs, little feet on the bottom of it that stick off, so you could bolt it directly to the hardtop without any extra $100 roof rack option. Looking outside, we have a nice, pretty solid fill-in canvas cover. We got a little accessory bag here. This has the prop rods for all of the canopies, and it's got mounting screws. Looks like there are, I can't tell, there's too many in there. Let's see if we can pull this thing off. Feels like an elastic edge. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. So, like most RC4wd things, the entire structure here is aluminum. So I'm kind of surprised. I thought this was going to be a lot lighter, a lot more flimsy than it is. There we go. Almost got the cover off. Fits nice and snug. So you can see our ladder. It folds out. Just like the real thing. Oh, what do we got here? So this is our actual rain cover. Let me show you a better look at this. So I always wanted the RC4wd trailer that they had. I can't remember what brand, Biovac I think. It had the fold out tent on it. But it was just a little pricey because of the trailer and everything, and being all aluminum. So I saw this pop up the other day, and I just figured, what the hey, have to try it out. So it's basically set up just like a real rooftop tent. It's got 3 bows inside that fold open at the hinge. We got our fold out ladder. We've got our windows that the prop rods hold open. Not sure, no, that's to tie back the door. And then we have our actual rain cover here, which will be held out with bows as well. Oh, I really want to put this on the 4Runner. Let me do some thinking here for a second. I got the 4Runner out. You can see it's heavy. It really squats the back of this thing. I mean, it'll bottom out and stay there. This really changes how I got to think about my suspension. It is a little large here for the 4Runner. I'm not sure how I feel about all that. Get our ladder out. Wants to stay up there pretty well. Getting it to fold out flat. It does look like it has magnets inside that are supposed to hold it when it's open, but it's not really holding out very well. Probably just because it's stiff here from being in the packaging. That looks so dang cool though. So yeah, I'm gonna get it all propped up, get all the little rods out holding the canopies, and we'll take another look at it here. so I got it on. I had to take it back off once. The holes are slotted on the mounts, and they're kind of bendable to the curvature of the roof. I didn't want to overdo it because I didn't want to snap one off. That aluminum is not the most stout stuff, so I bent them a little bit, and my roof was getting flattened out, so it was kind of pushing away from the back of the cab. So I take it back off and loosen the screws a little bit and let it relax, try to keep more of the shape. And I've got it. I do think if this thing had a hard fall, like a USTE, if it rolled down a hill pretty good, the weight of that top probably would, the tent would probably snap the top, break it in some places. Ideally you would put a nice roof rack down and then mount that to it in real life, but it's already so big, you know, if you put another 5 at the best, you find a 5mm thick roof rack, it would be pushing it. So I don't know. I'm going to look at some CC Hand products. I know they've got some very realistic replicas of racks. I wasn't going to put it on here at all because it really does weigh down the rear, but I've got to redo the suspension anyway, the shocks. These old SCX 10 shocks are pretty shot. So I'm going to try to find some better shocks here and get that swapped out before we take it out for a test drive. Because right now, if it back flexes, it's going to stay bottomed out, and it's just going to rub the body and all that with that extra weight. Putting the cover on is a mess. It is very snug. I'm sure it'll loosen up over time. Just like the tent looks kind of wrinkled when you unfold it, and it doesn't want to unfold all the way because it's all fresh, you know. It's all brand new. That canvas that it's made out of is actually canvas, and it's actually pretty thick stuff. It's probably at least 1mm thick. So it's kind of stiff, and it's going to take some time to break it in, but I like the way it looks. It just fits this thing to a T. You see I've got all my little scale camping gear. We got our ARB cooler, little grill, RC4wd cooler, not a refrigerator, a cooler, little army tank, a water tank, some little odds and ends. So we're going to have this thing pretty well loaded down. So I'm definitely going to have to beef up the rear suspension. And I'm going to have to look at some kind of cargo management for the inside because this thing does have a lot of flex and it's going to be top heavy. Everything inside is going to slosh around from side to side. So I'm going to have to address that. Maybe we can make some scale overlanding organizational thing in the back. I've been watching a lot of overlanding stuff lately. I'm hooked on it. I'm actually looking at, here in the next month or so, I may actually get a real 4Runner. But yeah, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. So again, I love the way it looks. I'm going to go ahead and open it all up and get it set up. As hard as it was to get in there, and I did not put the rain cover on in there. I think it will fit underneath the cover, but I left it out just to save weight, as well as all of the metal, I don't even know what you call these, little prop rods. Some of these seem long in places. It only came with 2 of the short ones and a lot more of the long ones. So I've got some extras, but I'm not sure the exact placement. Again, there's no instructions with this. You just kind of go off of the pictures on the RC4wd website. And yeah. So I'm going to do this at high speed so you don't have to sit there and watch me struggle. So with the mounting it to the top, you have to take some of the actual tent off. I had to take one side loose so I had access to the screws from the top. Just be careful. Those the eyelets and stuff on the canvas are solid, but those teeny tiny 1.5 mil looking screws that go into the aluminum frame, they will cross thread, not cross thread, but they'll strip out real easy. So just snug them in, and yeah, don't over torque them because it's not really something you could fix on this. Alright guys, so it's all set up. It's pretty cool. I'm not disappointed with it. The quality's there. It's just going to take some loosening up over time to get all this stuff to stay where it needs to. And it's already popped off. I put the short rods on the back side and the long ones on this side. It seems like works a little better, kind of pull those away. I don't know. But yeah, I had a sleeping bag and I could not find it to save my life. I was going to throw that up in the tent, and since I've been cleaning and rearranging everything, I can't find some of my scale stuff. These are $89.99. I got mine from RC4wd drive. Cost me about 11 bucks shipping. It did come from China, but it was about, counting the weekend, about 4 days, so pretty quick. You know, it's just one of those little things. Is it necessary? No. Is it expensive? Yeah. But is it cool? Yeah, it's pretty cool. So, yeah, like I said, next video on the 4Runner, we're going to redo the suspension. Hopefully, find some new shocks. Comment below any recommendations on shocks. I know Proline makes some shocks. I'm not a fan of the King shocks that RC4wd drive makes. I had some before. They were kind of leaky, and I didn't like them. Or let me know if you think I should just stick with Axial SEX10 shocks. I think I may actually have a new set of those right here. That may be what I do, because I've got a package of dual spring rate, remote wet reservoir looking fake, but you know, it looks like it. But let me know what y'all think. If I should use those or try to get something expensive and fancy for the suspension. I've just had such good luck with those SEX10 shocks. So I don't know. But stay tuned here at the end. There's going to be a slideshow. I got to take this thing out before the sun sets, get some pictures out in actual nature. But I appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, see you on the next video. Keep it scale.